Hello, Leo, and welcome to Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie, and this is your reading for July 12th through the 18th. So, start out with an archetype card, and this week you guys have the Mirror. Okay, and the Mirror is all about self-perception, how you see yourself. So this week you're probably going to be reflecting a lot on yourself and how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself. Also, perhaps you'll be coming to terms with some beliefs that you have about yourself that may not be realistic or fair. And by this, I mean negative beliefs that you hold about yourself. That you're going to start appreciating yourself better, comparing yourself to other people less. This could also be about you shining outward the parts of yourself that you're learning to appreciate. It may be that you are starting to learn how to appreciate yourself more for who you are, as opposed to who you think you should be when compared to the people around you. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a couple more cards for your theme for the week. Just to get a good, well-rounded perspective on what's going on for you guys and what to focus on. Leo. Theme for Leo, please. Okay. So we have the sun. And first of all, the sun is representative of the sign of Leo. But also, it has a lot to do, again, with like radiance, right? Shining out your positive qualities and what you have to offer the world, and shining bright as your authentic self, being yourself and no longer trying to be who you think everyone else wants you to be, or even who you think you should be. So go ahead and we'll put this back here. There we go. So we'll draw. I'm going to do two more for your theme. Leo. Get a Moonology card for Leo. Alright. Okay, guys, we have... There it goes. Expect powerful change. So this is a major transformation that you're going through internally right now. And it's all about the self, how you perceive yourself, right? And getting to know yourself better and understanding what it is that you have that's special to offer the world and to offer the people around you. Because these cards to me indicate that you really have a lot to offer, and you just don't realize it. Okay, you may be very self-conscious. You may have been told in your life as a child that you were this or that, and you always believed it, that whether it be positive or negative. And you're finally going to be able to recognize exactly who you are inside and out, and how to best express that in a way that will be helpful and beneficial to the people around you and the people that you love. Understanding and coming to terms with what your gifts are so that you can share them. So I'll grab one more for a theme, and then we'll go ahead and get to the tarot cards. Is there anything else we have for Leo? It's on the floor now. Okay, we have thoughtfulness. Okay? So perhaps you've managed to make it this far without spending much time and energy on self-reflection, because you spend most of your time and energy on others, helping other people. You've been shining your light on other people for a long time, maybe even your whole life. That's just kind of what you've gotten used to. You are very giving, and you're very compassionate, okay, to everyone else, but except perhaps yourself. And so this week, it's going to be about you taking all of that light and love and positivity and directing it inward for personal healing, for helping yourself, which is perfectly fine. It's actually very necessary, right? You can only help others as much as you help yourself. And you can't neglect the self for other people, just in everyday life. Obviously, there are extraordinary circumstances every once in a while where it makes sense to kind of let yourself go, or to put yourself on the back burner in order to take care of other people. But this week, it's about taking that thoughtfulness and thinking about yourself and how you feel and what you need, and having compassion for yourself and finding a little bit of understanding about who you are, why you are who you are, and who you want to be moving forward, and how you want to grow and change. Okay. We'll go ahead, we'll turn to the tarot. The first card that I'm going to draw is going to be a card that signifies you or your energy as you are right now, right here, right now. Okay, so let's get a card for Leo, please. Where's Leo at? Okay, so first we have the Six of Pentacles. And so this is exactly what I was talking about when I was referring to you being very helpful to other people and focusing a lot of time and energy and even resources on other people, and kind of neglecting yourself in the process. And so now it comes time that the tables have flipped, and it's time not only for you to focus on yourself, but potentially you may need help, or you need to allow someone else to focus on you as well, to help you in your process. And because you're so used to giving that help to other people, then you're not going to be, it may not be easy for you to allow other people to give you their time or attention or energy. And you may feel guilty even, but that is old toxic programming that has made you feel that way, that has made you feel like to accept anything good is to be a burden or to be selfish or greedy. It's not true. You give and you give and you give. And then when you receive in return, that is the natural balance of the universe. So if there's somebody who's trying to give to you now, return the energy and the resources and the love and compassion to you that you gave to them, then, sit down and receive it, allow it, and just appreciate it for what it is. It is hard earned. And it is also, when you allow people to help you, then you allow them kind of to establish a balance in their life, right? Because it feels good to give to others, which is probably why you do it. You may also do it out of a sense of feeling like, you have to but or maybe even out of some kind of guilt. But again, that's the old programming. It is very necessary that the exchange of energy is equal and balanced in every form. So don't feel bad if other people are now taking their turn and helping you in whatever it is that you need. Let's push these back a little bit. Oops. So the next card I'm going to pull a card for what you're going to be leaving behind you this week, whatever you're leaving behind into last week that you have to let go of or release, or even just, take focus off of. What is Leo leaving behind, please? Okay. So we have the Three of Pentacles. This is what you're leaving behind, and it did come out in reverse. I don't usually read them as reverse, but I will note when they do come out that way. And to me, that indicates that what you're leaving behind is the notion that you have to do everything by yourself. And you are embracing the benefits of teamwork and working together with other people and allowing other people, again, to contribute to you and your projects, your life, your needs. Okay, and I say that because it came out in reverse. And so before, you didn't necessarily want to work with other people on your own things. And it could be because you want to maintain a level of independence. It could be because you like to feel like you're in total control of any situation that is personal for you. But this, to me, is about you allowing other people to contribute to your life in a lot of different ways. And I think you'll find that it's not as difficult as you were afraid it would be to relinquish a little bit of that control. This could also be creative control if this does have something to do with a project or something that you're trying to manifest on the material level. And I'll understand more when I clarify these cards. So the next card that I'm going to pull a card to indicate what is coming in for you in this next week. What new is coming in for you guys. What's coming for Leo? Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles. That's what's coming in for you guys. Okay, so you're going to be spending, when you're not focusing on healing your concept of self, then you're going to be focused on keeping everything going, keeping all balls in the air, maintaining balance and a solid baseline when it comes to home and money and security. Instead of focusing on big projects or even on anything that's outside of yourself or your home, you're going to be focused on keeping above water, staying ahead, meeting your family's needs or your own needs, and the rest of that time will be spent in like meditation or in a resting state, a reflection state. Okay, so this is very stable energy for you guys. You are in a place now where you have support around you. You have stable resources. And I think the time and the confidence to finally start working on a little bit of self-healing and whatnot. Let's see if I can get this camera to focus. No. Okay. So the next card I'm going to pull is going to be what is going on in your subconscious right now. And this could be a message that your subconscious is trying to communicate to you. This could also be something that is in your subconscious that is affecting you that you're not aware of at the moment. Whatever it may be, it'll bring a little clarity to you this week. So what's going on in the subconscious for Leo? Okay. So we have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, he's a messenger of sorts. It's a younger, more or less experienced kind of energy as well. Very dreamy and fantastical in a way. The Page of Cups is very kind of a romantic character. Not as much so, I don't think, as the Knight of Cups, but perhaps there's, there could be an offer of love coming in that you're contemplating, or in your subconscious, like you're feeling in love, right? That's very good. I'll definitely look forward to clarifying that card. But because it falls, right, it comes in underneath the Six of Pentacles. If there is a love interest or you have a partner and you're because your life circumstances are far more stable than perhaps you have a much healthier relationship, or it was healthy from the beginning. But a lot of that help, you could be letting in a partner into your the more private side of yourself that you usually keep hidden or guarded. And that may be where a lot of this help is coming from. We'll go ahead now. We'll draw a card for what is above you, which would be any kind of higher guidance that is coming from spirit or source or spirit guides or just your higher self, but it's something of a higher nature that is a message to be communicated to you that'll help you in some way. So what do we have? Higher guidance for Leo, please. Can I get higher guidance for Leo, please? Okay. We have the Queen of Cups. And this is very motherly. What's the word I'm looking for? Very nourishing energy. It's not the right word that I'm looking for. But the Queen of Cups is a caregiver. She's also very in touch with her emotions and her intuition. And she doesn't hide it, and she knows how to, she makes decisions based on following her heart. Is kind of how I see the Queen. And so far we have 3 Pentacles cards and 2 Cups cards out. And so I believe that this may be about a marriage or relationship, and a stable marriage, a stable relationship, and now you've got stable finances and a stable, secure home situation, and you're just all around doing really good. And this is allowing you finally to take time to focus on yourself and to care for yourself, because there's another thing that I get with the Queen of Cups is self-love, self-compassion, self-care, right? And if you have kids, this could also be, things going really well with the children as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clarify all of those with a different tarot deck, and then we'll move on to the extra oracle cards, whatever we feel like pulling, whatever calls to me. So first we'll clarify this Six of Pentacles. That is difficult to pick up off the table, so I just won't. I was going to, but I won't. Can we clarify the Six of Pentacles, please? And again, this is the position for you, your energy, as you are right now. Can we clarify that Six of Pentacles for Leo, please? Okay, so we have the Knight of Rods, which is the equivalent of the Knight of Wands. So this assistance coming into you, this leveling out of energy in terms of what you give and what you receive, this is going to allow you to chase a dream of yours, to finally be able to put energy and focus into something that you want to manifest, that you want to create, that you're very passionate about. Wands is all about passion. It's that fire element energy, what drives you. Okay, so there's something that you feel like you really want to do or you really want to manifest, and you having this help coming into you is going to allow you, or at the very least make it a lot easier for you to focus on that and really put your heart and your soul into whatever it is that you're wanting to create. So next we will clarify the Three of Pentacles, and this is what's behind you, what you're letting go. Why are we letting go of this Three of Pentacles? We have the Nine of Cups. Our wish card, and you see there it says Wish Tonic, Bliss Brew, Love Potion, Joy Elixir. This is a very, very happy, very blessed energy, right? So perhaps with these being in the past position, this is you, right? So you have reached a level of happiness and you have a good life and you're enjoying yourself. And so when you're doing this deep dive into like your concept of yourself, it is not coming from a place of being unhappy. It's just that you finally achieved a certain level in your life that you've been working towards. And so you're starting a new phase, basically. You're shifting your focus away from these relationships or this, whatever this teamwork energy is right here, as well as, you know, before you wanted to be happy, you were not happy, and so your focus was on building your life and making decisions that would lead you to happiness, and now you are there, and you're very happy, and you're very stable, and it is allowing you to grow in other ways. So when earlier I said that you might be letting go of kind of this need to be independent, right? Like it's almost attached to your pride. Like you're proud that you've done everything for yourself and that you can do anything you want without the help of anybody, and you don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody's attention or anything like that to manifest and to survive. And now you're kind of letting go of that need, right? Because you've achieved your happiness. You've proved yourself to yourself and what you're capable of. And now you're realizing that perhaps that's challenging some negative beliefs that you have about yourself from the past that are just deeply ingrained in you. And so now you start to work through that. And this is growth on top of growth. This is abundance on top of abundance. This is very positive, you guys. So let's see clarify what's ahead of you. All right, we have the Hermit. And that is clarifying the Two of Pentacles here, which is about, again, maintaining balance, keeping your head above water, maintaining the baseline in the home life as far as money and security is concerned. And so the Hermit is all about taking time to yourself to reflect. And I think that is really what this whole reading is about, is you being able to sit down and focus on reflection, right? And because sometimes life demands it of us, that puts us in a situation where we hit a wall and we have to look inward, and we have to really evaluate our lives and our priorities and our beliefs and our ideas about how the world works. But instead of you being forced into this, you're feeling free to do this, to really be able to relax and go deep into your thoughts and meditate, or whatever it is, however it is that you get into a good solid state of reflection. Perhaps you have an easier time journaling than meditating, or perhaps even creating art, expressing yourself creatively in some way that facilitates that process of reflection. Now we will clarify that Page of Cups in your subconscious. Let me clarify the Page of Cups for Leo, please. Okay, interesting. We have the Devil. And the Devil is usually an overindulgence of some kind. It could be an addiction, and it could be any behavior that you continue that hurts you. It could be compulsive. And it could also be tied to those previous beliefs about yourself that you've been fighting. And so when I have the Devil come out with the Page of Cups, then it makes me wonder if, almost like love addiction, people who are addicted to being in love and have trouble being content in what comes after that. And I think that is something that perhaps is in the back of your mind, and you're afraid of losing that feeling of being in love with a person or an idea or a project or something. And it was in the past, that was probably another way that you distracted yourself, but also another way that you kind of attached your identity to something superficial. And so as you go through this process of self-discovery and self-realization, okay, then you're going to notice those times where perhaps you compromised your own identity in order to allow another person or some kind of a relationship or something to be your identity. And in a way that was a crutch for you, because it was too intimidating at the time to really get to know yourself, your light self, your shadow self. So it was a way of hiding from who you really were, to just be whoever someone else wanted you to be. And it was also probably a way to protect yourself from other people's displeasure or disappointment when you weren't exactly what they thought you should be. And so as you work through that, you're going to realize that there never really was anything wrong with you as you were. And now you're at a point where you can let go of other people's perception of you. You can finally let go and not care how people feel about who you are and who you're with and what job you do and what choices you make. You're going to realize that you're solid and you're confident in your own decisions and your own life, because you're looking at your life now and you realize that as soon as you started following your heart and trusting in yourself, that everything came together. And every decision you made, that you made from the heart with the purest intentions, always brought you abundance in some form, whether it be monetarily or relationship-wise or mentally, whatever the case. You're being able to let go of that idea that you need someone else's approval before you can be comfortable with yourself as you are. And so now we'll clarify the Queen of Cups up there. Oh, got one right away. Okay, we have the Empress. And this is clarifying the Queen of Cups as higher guidance for you guys. And so this to me is all about self-care, self-love, self-compassion. And this could also, because I get very motherly energy from these cards, there may be some inner child healing that you have to work on, especially because usually when people get into the cycle of attaching their identity to somebody else or needing somebody else to be okay with who they are, that's something that started in childhood at a very young age. And so you may have to go all the way back and work through a lot of stuff from when you were a kid in order to sort that out. And perhaps some of you may find that you weren't loved right. You weren't loved in the way that you deserved when you were a child. And so you never learned how to love yourself the way that you should. Okay? And it could potentially be a situation where, as a child, you were put in a caregiver position yourself. And so your needs and your development was neglected by the people around you. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they did it on purpose or that they had malicious intent, although they could have. So if you feel like that's the case, then don't roll it out. However, that doesn't necessarily, some kids are put in that position when they have a sick parent or a sick family member that takes up a lot of the parent's time and attention, or they live in a single parent household, and so they take up a lot of responsibility for caring for siblings or caring for the home. And this is just survival. It's totally normal. It happens all over the world every single day. But the truth of it is that you didn't learn how to take care of yourself emotionally, right? You probably learned how to take care of yourself physically at a very young age. You probably raised yourself, depending on your circumstances. But what that compassionate energy, that ability to have that motherly love, it's necessary for a certain part of your development. And so if that was missing to any degree as a child, that's going to come up now this week as you work through all of this. And I think that because you're in a very stable mindset and you're coming at this from a very reasonable, logical perspective, right, as you move through your emotions, that I think that you will find it easier to forgive now that you're not necessarily suffering from that, whatever that neglect was, if that makes sense. So it's all about compassion and forgiveness, whether it be forgiveness of yourself. Sorry, dropped a card. Okay. But yes. Anyway, the higher guidance is love yourself, care for yourself, pamper yourself, take a long, soothing bath, and just give yourself the love that you may not have received as a child. I actually do this at times where there are times, I think everybody has experienced it, where there were times when we were children where we needed emotional support and we just didn't get it. And it may not be at the fault of anybody. It just happened. And so then you have these memories and that weighs on you for your whole life. And then you get to a point where you can look back and you can feel compassion and love for the child that you were, right? And kind of balance out that void, that feeling of not having, of lacking something. If there's like an emptiness inside you, then you can still go back, almost like traveling in time, to yourself as a child and give them that love, that nurturing that you didn't receive. And while it's not literally you getting in a time machine and going back and talking to yourself as a child, it still has a very profound effect on your emotional being, right? In real time. So that may be something that comes up for you guys. I think what I will do next is I'll pull a shamanic medicine card to see what other insight we can get for you guys as far as the healing process goes. Get a card for Leo, please. All right, we have altar. The descriptor for the altar card is honoring. And the whole idea of an altar is that you take special artifacts, special items that have spiritual significance to you, and you set them upon the altar so that you may either tune into their energy or remember and meditate, focus on what they stand for. And in the context of this reading, what you would be honoring is yourself. And so what you might place upon your altar, whether it be real or just in your mind, perhaps pictures of yourself as a child, things that you have that you love, probably also from a young age, okay? Going back and potentially anything that would represent any bad feeling you ever had about yourself, so that you can set that upon the altar and you can offer that up to Spirit or God or whatever you want to call it. You can set all those negative emotions and anything negative, you can also put upon the altar. Again, to give it up to Spirit in order to take it and transform it into something positive, something useful, right? And you can kind of think about the process of going back through old memories, remembering them, and then reprogramming them in your head from a different perspective, from a wiser perspective, which again will allow for release and forgiveness, right? To take the lesson and to leave the pain and to be able to move forward with a clean slate. So honor yourself. Honor your childhood. Honor the parts of yourself that you've always felt compelled to hide or to destroy, because it was society that told you that any part of you was wrong or needed to be removed. Okay? Now we all make mistakes and we all have bad behaviors from time to time. But that's not what I'm talking about when I say negative. I really just mean the ideas that either society or people in your circle who made you feel bad about yourself for something and they were wrong to do it. You know, everybody's growing in their own time. And even on a generational level, we are wiser at a younger age than our parents, and they got wiser at a younger age than their parents. And that's the whole idea, right? Our children should always be better than us and smarter than us and cooler than us in every way. To me that is success in raising children and parenting, is that we make sure that they are all the positive things that we have yet to become. Okay. I think now I'll go ahead and I will draw a card from my Flowers from the Dead deck, and this could be something that gives you a little bit of insight into perhaps your shadow or something specific. Oh, sorry, I dropped it. Okay, here we go. So we have the fox, and it says patience and harmony. And there is a lot of imagery that comes to mind in terms of the fox. Usually in a lot of different decks and a lot of mythology and in a lot of, like as an archetype, the fox is very sneaky. Sometimes he's a thief. But really in the most honest reflection of the fox is that he is self-sufficient. And he survives. And he thrives. And so if we kind of look at this concept of patience and harmony from that perspective of being able to survive, right? And I think that this also ties into that Two of Pentacles, where you are patient and harmonious because you have faith in yourself that, first of all, that you can do whatever you set your mind to, and that if you ever have a need, you'll be able to meet it. But also that you have faith in the universe that you are protected, you are guided, and you are provided for, as long as you're following your heart, you're following your intuition, and you're doing the work that you came onto this earth to do. Whatever that may be. Everybody is different. Every Leo is different. But there's this idea of you feeling that harmony, right? And perhaps even patience for yourself as you go through this process. So you're just flowing through the energy, and the energy is kind of pulling you through like a current. So you're not really even having to drive this thing through. You're just flowing through the growth, the evolution, and trusting in the universe that it will guide you where you need to go. And it will. So next I will just pull... Oop, ouch. I sat on my foot. All wrong. Okay, I'll pull a couple cards from my new Learning to Witch deck. And then we'll do an affirmation card, and then we'll call it a day. Please get a couple cards for Leo. Okay, this is a word that I have a really hard time pronouncing, but it is the type of stone. We have Charoite. I apologize. I'll have to look that one up, find out how that's pronounced. Emotional healing and protect from negativity. Okay, so this is exactly what I've been talking about the whole time. This focus for you this next week is on your own emotional healing. And this protection from negativity. It could be negativity in your immediate environment, but I think it's kind of protecting yourself from the generational negativity that's been passed down to you by, your parents or the older people in your life, the people who raised you, and the society that raised you, that is very unhealthy and sick, just like a lot of the people in it. And it's just how it is. That's how the world is right now. And the whole world right now, everybody, every sign is going through some version of this emotional healing. And inner child healing and shadow work. Because it's a new, weird era. 2020 is just on fire and unpredictable, and it seems like it's kind of like now or never. It is time to heal. It is time to heal, to be strong and ready for whatever comes next. And so this emotional healing that you're working on will protect you from any negativity that comes towards you in the future, because you will be solid within yourself. You will be impenetrable by the negative energy. Your light will be so bright that the darkness will not even touch you. And you've earned that. So pull a couple more cards from this deck. A little more insight for Leo, please. Okay, so we have secrets, underlying deception, and renewal after adaptation. So this does not, you see, she's got the chameleon right there on her chest. And the chameleon is what he needs to be, who he needs to be, whenever he needs to be that to survive. And so perhaps that is very much how you coped and survived throughout your life, right? And that's why you're finally now getting to that point where you're really figuring out who you actually are, as opposed to who you've had to be to make it through life to this point. And this renewal after adaptation, this idea that like, it's almost like a rebirth that you're going through now that you can shed all of those masks that you've had to wear your whole life. And you're finally able to reveal yourself to yourself and to the world now that you are in a stable and safe environment, and now that you have the strength of and the willpower, right? Now that you're no longer afraid of what could go wrong, or afraid that in some way your survival might be endangered, right? You do not have to hide yourself anymore. You don't have to live for somebody else, or change, you don't have to change yourself for anybody anymore. You can be yourself. And so it's very much a renewal, and it's very freeing and liberating to go through this process. And if there is any underlying deception, right, that's probably just going back again to those ideas or beliefs that you held about yourself that were really inherited from your parents or your environment. And you're just finally realizing, what's true and what's not, and you're able to throw away what's not real, what's not true, and move forward with only the truest parts of yourself. All right. I think we'll do one more of these, and then we'll do an affirmation. Well, I said one more and it gave me two, and I love when that happens, so we'll keep them. So we have here, the full moon says recharge, express gratitude, and strengthen body and spirit. Okay, and this gratitude that you're going to express is going to be gratitude for yourself, as well as the people around you who genuinely support you and love you and want what's best for you. And also, actually, gratitude for your life experiences, even the ones that were very difficult and painful, because they've gotten you here to where you are now. Whether it is despite them or in spite of them, you have reached happiness and stability. And who knows where you would be if you had the easy way out your whole life. Because there are a lot of people, I know some people who've had a really easy life, very happy, very stable, and while they're good people, their dark night, their reflection period is a lot heavier, perhaps, than yours will be, because you spent your whole life working through the dark and surviving in the dark. You perhaps were very familiar with the darkness that lives inside people and within yourself. And so it's not a shock to you as you move through it now. It's just a very calm and understanding realization of what you can now let go and what you don't need anymore, or perhaps what never was real in the first place. Okay, and then the second card that came out was Fire and Determination. And this could literally represent you, Leo, right? Because you're a fire sign. And every Leo I know is definitely determined. When they want something, they get it. And so if you're focusing on this healing, you want this healing, you're going to get it. You're going to move through it, and probably very quickly. My suspicion is that you're going to have some very important work that you need to do for the world on a global level, for like the collective, that is very important, that only you can do. And so this healing process, while you do need to go through it, it's going to be a very smooth and quick process. And it may be a lot coming in at once for you, a lot to work through at one time, but I think it'll be like a realization will hit, ooh, like that. A realization will hit, and you'll be like, oh, okay, yes, and then move on to the next. And you're just going to work through each issue one at a time until there's nothing left that's holding you down or weighing you down. And then you're going to be able to take that attention again and focus it back outward, but from a more balanced perspective. Okay, and now you will be able to give time, resources, and energy without feeling like you need to give it all. And then what you do give will be appropriately focused and effective, because you are coming from a very well-rounded and fully stable mindset and emotional state, as well as a material state, right? Like you've even got the material down pat. You're ready to go. The universe, this is the universe's way of giving you the tools that you're going to need to use to fight for whatever it is, whatever's coming in. You're going to be a fighter, and you're going to fight on the behalf of perhaps those who cannot fight for themselves, as perhaps you were one of those people when you were younger, right? And you're going to be able to take everything that you learned in this healing process and give it to the people around you so that you can pull them into the healing process, and we can just spread it far and wide, right? And you're not the only one. There's a lot of people who are going through this so that they can do the same thing. So it's like beginning this this chain reaction of healing, and you are like a pivotal player in this. I don't think pivotal was the right word for that. You're very important. You're important. And don't forget that. Okay, last card is going to be an affirmation card, and then we'll call it quits, because good lordy, this is almost an hour long. Before I started recording these weeklies this week, I said I'm going to make them shorter than 30 minutes. Because last week's were 30 minutes. And every single one I've recorded this week has been 40 to 50 minutes. So, sorry about that. Okay, we have, perfect. Strength. You are hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate. And based on what I know of mythology, probably with great hair and a six-pack. And what more could you ask for? Okay, Leo, that was your reading again for the week of July 12th through the 18th. If that didn't resonate with you guys, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these. You know the drill. Go check out a different sign, moon sign, rising sign, whatever. Or just check back in next week. These readings can't be for everybody all the time. But if this did resonate with you, if you enjoyed this reading, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment If you have any ideas on other spreads that you would like to see, if you'd like the videos to be shorter or longer or more in depth, any input that you have, I would gladly take it, because this is, I'm new to this, and I want to be able to put out content that is actually helping people instead of just me sitting in a closet talking to myself. So, good luck, you guys. You've got a good handle on this, and you're going to be okay. And I'll be back next week for your next week's readings.